right here, this right here, it says everything, like everything. Don't be fooled, they are not the same. If you use, have used, or plan to use Kendamil infant formula, please stick around and let's have a talk. I think it is important for me to share my experience as a mom to a baby with a cow milk protein allergy and how the Kendamil here in the US is not the same as Kendamil from the UK. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annaise Shades and I'm a mama living, learning, and growing with my baby boys, Grayson and Connor. Back in 2020 when I had my first son, I purchased my first can of Kendamil infant milk from the UK. It's not available here in the US. Fast forward, it is now available here in the US and sold at Target and online. That's awesome, right? I mean, you would think it's the same company with the same milk now here in the US, right? If you are not aware, Kendamil uses full cream milk and prides itself on offering premium organic cow milk formulas that mimic the essential nutrients found in mother's milk. This is important because as a mom to a baby with a cow milk protein allergy, why would I even consider using this formula? Well, to be short, the UK raises their cows differently than the US. And because of this, even though the formula is milk-based, with that in mind, I went out to Target and I purchased a can of the Kendamil infant formula. I was surprisingly shocked, and not in a good way. I was more so disappointed. Upon opening the can of formula, I was immediately greeted by a sweet smell, which is what I was looking for, knowing that I have used this product in the past. However, I could tell that there was something off about it, and even the texture was a little bit thicker than what I remembered as well. And also the taste. Yes, I tasted it. And it's very reminiscent of the baby formulas here in the US. I have an iron, metallic-y taste. Definitely not what I remembered. From the taste alone, I could tell there was a difference. Also, too, another big point, after intake of the formula from Target, my baby's tummy was very tight and stiff. Visually, it looked swollen. He was gassy. He was having constant spit up. He was constipated. And even the measured serving size for his age, he would drink a quarter of the bottle. And that was a red flag. Because I already knew that something was off and different about the brand or about the milk that I had just purchased, I wanted to compare. So I went online and purchased Kendamil's first infant milk from the UK. And I tell you, I opened this baby up. Oh my gosh, like the smell, it's sweet, but it smells sweeter than the can that I purchased here in the US. The texture of it is not as gritty. Don't worry, I've used this can, so it's at the end. But it's not as gritty. And the taste, and I tell you, it was everything that I remembered. Oh my gosh. It reminded me of a hot vanilla latte, like, so good. I was so excited. This milk is delicious. Another major difference with the UK's milk is that my baby, remember, my baby that has a cow milk protein allergy was able to drink this milk with ease. Like, he had no tummy issues. He was excited when he saw his bottle. He drank the whole thing in its entirety. Like, I don't understand. It's the same brand. You would think it's the same ingredients, right? So why is it that my baby was able to drink the UK's brand of milk with ease, but struggled drinking the US can of Kendamil milk? Mind-blowing, right? That is something to be said, and kind of concerning for me as a mom with why the US brand Kendamil is not the same. Because of this, because of my baby, I think I can confirm that the ingredients are different. They have been adjusted. And I can only assume that they have been reworked in order to meet the approval for the FDA. Thanks, honey. If you are gaining interest in the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below if you used, have used, or plan to use Kendamil infant formula. I hope you find this video helpful. Now that I've shared my story, let's go take a deeper dive into looking at the can. Looking at the US can, down at the bottom, it shows that this is for babies from 0 to 12 months of age. And then they go to 12 to 36 months of age. Over in the UK, they start with can number 1 from birth, and then they have a can number 2 that's from 6 to 12 months, and then a can from 12 to 36 months. Why is it that the US has such a big jump, and then they only have 2 cans, but the UK is broken down into 3 separate cans? So that's a difference right off the bat. I'm gonna jump over to the ingredients list and we'll come back to the front. I'm not a nutritionist, however, I did notice that they both have iron, but the US contains an iron of ferrous sulfate, whereas the UK does not. The UK has iron pyrophosphate, and then I noticed that they both contain folic acid. But going over to the vitamins listing, on the UK's can, it says folate DFE, and on the US can, it says folic acid folacine. To my understanding, folate DFE is a natural form of vitamin B9, whereas the folic acid folacine is a synthetic form. So that's a difference. And then jumping down into the minerals list, everything is listed the same, except the UK has fluoride at the bottom of the list. So again, there are differences. Moving back to the front, I wanted to point out the US can states that it's made with love from Europe, whereas the UK's can says made with love in the Lake District. Everywhere around the UK's can, I'm able to locate where this milk comes from. It does not state that on the US can. It's very generic on the US can. It says where it's distributed from, distributed in the US by such and such, but it doesn't say where this can of milk comes from. UK's can says specifically, Kendamil is family run and lovingly crafted in the English Lake District, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the place we proudly call home. That is nowhere to be found on the US can of milk. And that's important because, like I said once before earlier in the video, is that the UK raises their cows differently. This emphasizes British cows. This does not. That's in question there. Like, is this made here or is it made in the UK? Lastly, on the US can right here, it says made for USA. Meets nutritional standards for US infant formula. All in all, the US can of infant milk is not the same as the UK's can of infant milk. You don't taste your baby's milk, you need to taste it. You need to taste what they're tasting. Now, if you do choose to use the US Kendamil infant formula, just know that I do strongly believe that this infant milk is better than any US formula out there. So it is good. I did need to make clear that there is a difference between the US can of milk and the UK's. That's that. Let's continue to grow. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.